Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome to your essay class. And today is our 8th class, and we are going to talk about comparison and contrast essay. And this is another different kind of essays. In the last classes, we've talked about different kind of essays, the cause and effect essay. And now we're going to talk about comparison and contrast essay. First of all, let us actually, what do you mean, what are comparison and contrast essay? What are they? This is a very primitive question, a very essential question. So comparing things is something we do every day when we have to make decisions. For example, you might think of similarities or differences when you're buying a new MP3 player or choosing a place to study English. You may need to evaluate two sides of an issue. You have studied in your classes or in a class or two proposals for research or projects at your workplace. So in all these cases, you will need to write an essay or maybe a report or a summary to discuss your ideas about the topic. This is what we call a comparison and contrast. A comparison and contrast. We compare the similarities and we contrast the differences. So comparison and contrast. So with comparison we compare similarities, and with contrast we contrast the differences. How about the organization? Like other types of essays, comparison and contrast essay must have a clear introduction and a conclusion. In the last class we have said that the cause and effect organization, it has two ways. We said the block organization and the chain organization. Do you remember that? Hope so. For the comparison and contrast essay, also it has a similar organization. It has point-by-point organization and block organization. We will explain these two by using some of the diagrams to understand the format actually of comparison contrast essay organization. So the body of comparison and contrast essay can be organized by point organization and a block organization. Okay? Now, for both types of organization, the introduction is the same. Whether you use point-by-point organization or block organization. First of all, you need to present the topic or subject that is being compared and contrasted in the topic sentence. And here we're talking about the introduction paragraph. So in the introduction paragraph, whether you use point-by-point organization or block organization, you have to present the topic or the subject that is being compared or contrasted in the topic sentence. So you give some general information about the topic. And then in the body paragraph, in the introduction paragraph, you should end the introduction paragraph with what? With a thesis statement. A thesis statement that tells the reader specifically what will be compared and what will be contrasted. So can you imagine now the introduction paragraph? We start with the general information about the topic. We present the topic in that. And at the end of the introduction paragraph, you should state your thesis statement. You should ends your introduction paragraph with a thesis statement saying what has been contrasted, what's going to be contrasted and what is going to be compared. First of all, the first organization is called point-by-point organization. And now we'll start talking about the body paragraphs, because you can actually start using any kind of any two of the organization just once you start writing the body paragraphs. Because in the point-by-point, we said that point-by-point organization, or whether you write a block organization, the introduction is the same. The body paragraphs alternate between similarities and differences. In short, to say, one body paragraph will explain the similarities between the two subjects, and one paragraph will explain the differences. هذه point-by-point organization. In a longer essay, one paragraph will explain similarities between one main idea in the two subjects, and one paragraph will deal with the differences in the same main idea, and so on. So can you imagine that? In a short essay, we have one body paragraph. The one body paragraph explains the similarities between two subjects, two things, and one paragraph will explain the differences. هذا في short essay. بينما في longer essay, one paragraph explains the similarities between two things, two ideas, two main ideas, okay, one main ideas in two subjects, and one paragraph will deal with the differences in the same main idea, and so on. So as you can see here, this is a short essay. This is a short structure of the short essay, point by point. So we have the introduction, then we write the similarities in one paragraph. This is body paragraph, right? This is one, and here is also the second body paragraph, and then you write the conclusion. The conclusion should summarize or restate your thesis statement, what you have mentioned in your thesis statement, saying that after what you have provided the reader in the body paragraphs, we have what you have said was true, or what you have argued was clear. For a longer essay, what you can do is as the following. Again, you should start with your thesis statement, then you mention one similarity in the one paragraph. This is one paragraph. Okay. This is, then you mention one differences, and then you mention the second similarity in another paragraph. So we have paragraph, third paragraph, and then you mention your second difference after the similarity. The conclusion should summarize your thesis statement. Your thesis statement should actually use this logical, should mention this logical division. هذا بنسميه logical division. في عندنا واحد واحد اثنين اثنين. One similarity, one difference, one similarity, one difference. So what they should be actually logically ordered in your thesis statement in the introduction. Now let us move, this is what we have, point by point organization. Now let us talk about block organization. In a block organization, the body paragraphs first present the similarities in the two subjects. Then in a separate paragraph the differences are presented. Now for the short essay, the organization is similar to point-by-point organization. For the longer essay, the body paragraphs first present the similarity as said, then after transition present the difference as separate set. وبنحكي عن الترانزيشن هنا اللي هي بنسميها transition paragraph. Transition paragraph. So this is what we have for the block organization. For the short essay, the organization is similar to the one we have just discussed, point-by-point organization. For the longer essay, the body paragraph first present the similarities as said, then after that, after transition, we should have a transition paragraph or maybe transition sentence. Then we present the difference as a separate set. As you can see here, so we have also, this is short essay organization, just like point-by-point organization. مشابهة تماما للدياجرام اللي أخذناه في point-by-point organization. لكن هذه في حالة short essay. We mention first in one paragraph the similarity, and the differences are presented in another paragraph, and then we have a conclusion to restate what we have said or stated in the thesis statement. The long essay organization, as you can see here, so we have a different format. We have different format. In the introduction, as usual, you mention you present the topic, then you give us a general information about the topic, and then you end the introduction paragraph with a thesis statement. With a thesis statement. The first body paragraph should mention one of the similarities, and the second. This is one block. One block means that you list all the similarities together. Maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs together discuss the similarities. Okay? And then you have kind of a transition paragraph. Do you remember what do we mean by transition paragraph? Transition paragraph, we end what we have discussed previously, and then we introduce the next, what come to next. So what was coming here, then after the transition in the block organization, we mention the differences in one paragraph, and in another paragraph we mention another difference. This is what we call block. Okay, I want you to understand the format and to imagine it in your mind. You should follow the format I have already provided you with. You should follow them. You should actually copy this and just save it here. In the conclusion, as you know, we restate what we have mentioned in the thesis statement. So, is that clear? I hope so. So, what we have started was only an introduction to or a definition, introduction, in which we define the meaning of comparison and contrast. With comparison, we mean the similarities. With contrast, we mention the differences. We write about differences. We also, as already talked, we have already talked about the two different kinds of organization. The first organization was the point-by-point organization, and the second one was a block organization, as you can see here. So we've talked about the introduction and what we should do. Then we started with the body paragraphs, and now we end with the third main part of an essay, the conclusion. Now, for both types of comparison and contrast essay, the conclusion is the same. So, what you should do in the conclusion? First, you should restate the topic. You should restate or summarize the similarities and differences between the topics, and give your opinion or feeling about the topic, and make a prediction or explain the result. So this is what we usually do in any conclusion, whether it was cause and effect essay or a comparison and contrast essay. So the conclusion usually either restate the topic, restate your thesis statement, or to restate the major points that you have discussed in the body paragraphs, of course in short, or to give your opinion at the end about the topic, to express your feeling, to explain the results. And so in conclusion, we have found out something, and blah, blah, blah. Now, let's look at some example essay. Let us discuss it together and see, read, some of them, some of the experts, and then discuss it with each other. Here we have a Japan and the United States, different but alike. This is the title, and you can guess the topic from the title. It talks basically about a difference between, different, it shows contrast. Alike means similarity, means similarities. So we have comparison and contrast essay. So with difference, we will come to understand that we have, from the title, we have a comparison and contrast essay. How? You just need to look at the title first. It might be helpful. And this title is helpful because different and alike, but alike, although we have not started yet reading the passage, but we can get what kind of passage we are going to have. Difference and alike. Contrast and comparison. Let us first read the body, the introduction. The culture of a place is an integral part of its society, whether that place is a remote Indian village in Brazil or a highly industrialized city in Western Europe. لاحظوا في أول جملة له هذه كان عبارة عن general statement. Okay? So it was a general statement. Started with the culture itself. He is talking about the culture of a place, right? ثقافة المكان. So the author is talking generally about the culture of a place. Now let us read the thesis statement. Where is the thesis statement? We need to look at the last part of this introduction paragraph. On the surface, at least, US and Japanese societies seem totally opposite. So, the general statement was talking about culture of a place. The thesis statement, the end of the introduction paragraph, it says, on the surface at least, US and Japanese societies seem totally opposite. And from the thesis statement, I can guess what the body paragraphs are going to talk about. شو هي الكلمة? Where's the clue words? The clue words was opposite. So the body paragraphs are going to contrast, to talk about the differences first. They're going to talk about differences. Okay? So let us now read the first line of the second, or of the first body paragraph. And here number 2. One obvious difference is the people. One obvious difference is the people. Have the topic sentence of the first body paragraph. So, and the rest is only examples. Examples mean the topic sentence اللي هي one obvious difference is the people. طيب خلينا نروح على body paragraph number 3. Other areas of differences, or of difference between Japan and the United States involve issues of a group interaction and sense of space. لاحظوا الآن هذا another difference is mentioned here in the topic sentence of the second body paragraph. The rest are examples supporting the topic sentence. لاحظوا the third paragraph now. Now, as you can see, before we move to the third paragraph, the topic sentence of the second body paragraph and the topic sentence of the third body paragraph, they all support the thesis statement right here, واللي هي كانت تحكي عن opposite. So both two paragraphs supporting the thesis statement of opposition. Now, we have the fourth body paragraph. Says, in spite of these differences, these two apparently opposite cultures share several important experiences. لاحظوا الآن هذا ما نسميها بالترانزيشن paragraph. هذا ما نسميه بالترانزيشن paragraph. The transition paragraph شو وظيفتها? It ends what we have started, تنهي ما بدأنا فيه, and start with a new statement. So the new thesis statement right here, that we have actually several important experiences. Okay, so now the transition paragraph is actually clarify to us or mention to us how many, what's going to, it's explained to us what's going to be mentioned next, اللي هي حتحكي عن several important experiences. فأول paragraph حنقرأها اللي هي 5 is going to talk about one of these important experiences. Both, أول واحدة, both, for example, both عن مين ترجع, refers to Japan and United States. Both, for example, have transplanted cultures. هذه واحد. إذن هو الآن بده يحكي لي عن that the United States and Japan share several important experiences. أول experience إنه both, for example, have a transplanted cultures. الآن البقية بتدعم هذا التوبيك sentence. واضحة؟ خلينا نروح على المقطع الثاني. Both societies مرة ثانية عمين بحكي هون عن Japan and United States. Both societies have developed the art of business and commerce of buying and selling. إذن هذه another shared experience. Another shared experience. Okay? finally اللي هي الآن 7 طبعا هذا the rest explain the topic sentence. I'll give examples. Okay, let us read the first line of paragraph 7. A final similarity is that both Japanese and people in the United States have always emphasized the importance of work, and both are paying penalties for their commitment to it. فلاحظوا الآن So they have increasing stress and weakening family bonds. So they have also another similarity. Finally, the conclusion, Japan and the United States different yet alike. هذا اللي كان مذكور وين؟ لو نرجع على العنوان, they are different but alike. هذا حتى هو thesis statement. From the title, you can guess also the conclusion. Different but alike. In the first introduction and the thesis statement, it starts with the opposites. Then we have a transition sentence or paragraph. Then it mentions to us the shared experience between Americans and Japanese people. In the conclusion, it restates the topic. It restates the topic. So hopefully we have analyzed the previous essay clearly, and hopefully that you clearly understand it. Okay, we have two actually here questions. In which paragraphs are similarities discussed? In which paragraphs are the differences discussed? We have talked about this, and it shows that in paragraph 5, 6, and 7 we have the similarities, and paragraph 2 and 3 we have differences. Question number 2, what is the function of paragraph number 4? And we said it's actually a transition paragraph introducing the second half of the essay. Let us now look at this short essay in which the writer is using point by point or block organization. As you can see here, this is the introduction. There are two places that have had a profound impact. Here we have introduction paragraph. So there are two places that have had a profound impact on my life. One of them is New York City, and the other is the Guatemala. So the introduction introduces the topic and general information. The specific things that will be compared, okay, it shows, first of all, it introduces the topic and general information. هذا هو بشكل عام. Then it introduces the specific things that will be compared. So from the first general introduction, it will actually, it gives you a hint that there is a comparison between two cities. Which one is better? Okay. Then it also gives the writer's opinion about the topic. So here, when you compare them, so this sentence shows or tells you the comparison, that when you compare them refers to Guatemala and New York. So the rest of the, you will come to know from this statement or from this dependent clause that there is we have a comparison essay, okay? And if you read, they seem likely dramatically different. So different, it means contrast, and compare, it means similarities. But it seems that they are more different than they are similar. but they have some things in common. So they have differences and similarities. Here the author or the writer is giving his opinion also. So in the introduction we introduce general, we give in general information, then the specific things that will be compared or contrasted, and then the writer's opinion. In the body paragraph, the first body paragraph, this is point by point organization. Okay, we introduce the similarities with general statement. There are many reasons why New York seems like my home away from home. Okay, so here it introduces the similarities. Both cities are striking and distinctive, and here it gives us an examples. So in the whole body, in the whole paragraph of this, in the whole body of the body paragraph, we give examples about the topic sentence. هذا هو الtopic sentence. لكن البقية بيكون أمثلة للtopic sentence. So here in one paragraph we introduce the similarities. ماشي? We give examples of similarities between the two cities. We explain why the writer likes the two cities. Then the writer moves to another paragraph and introduces the differences. Despite their similarities, بالرغم من التشابه, these cities are different. So this is the topic sentence, and the rest are examples. The rest is examples. ماشي? So here specific examples of the differences. So hopefully now you understand what comparison and contrast mean. Right in here we have some comparison signal words like similarly, likewise, also, to. You can read these sentences and understand how these words are transition words or phrases. Let us read together. Human workers can detect malfunction in machinery. Similarly, or likewise, a robot can be programmed to detect equipment malfunctions. فلاحظوا similarly, كذلك, فهذا بنسميها comparison signal words. Human workers can detect malfunctions in machinery. A robot can also, أو to. فبنستخدم similarly, likewise, also, to لنعبر عن comparison signal words. أيضا we have subordinators. Robot can detect malfunction in machinery as a human works can. Just as a human works. Okay? فلاحظوا بعد as just جاء عندنا subject verb. عفوا subject و verb. لكن بعد also to ما جاء لا subject ولا verb. انتبهوا هذه للقواعد مهمة. حيكون إن محاضرة تطبيقية لكل للمحاضرة لهذه النقاط الرئيسية. أيضا هنا بعض comparison words مثل and, both, not only but also, neither nor. Neither robots nor human workers are infallible. The coordinators, their function is to balance in a sentence, to balance the sentence. لاحظوا هذه noun هنا noun. اقرأوا هذه الجملة. Not only robots but also human workers can detect malfunctions in machinery. كيف عملت balance؟ هنا noun وهنا noun. Both robots and human workers can detect malfunctions. Both and. هنا noun هنا noun. Robots and human workers برضه هذه بنسميها coordinators. They join words together. They join nouns together. Okay? فهذه تحافظ على توازن الجملة. هنا بعض القواعد أيضا اللي ممكن نتبعها في مسألة comparison signal words, like, just, like, similar to. بيجي بعديها noun جميعها, and be, like, similar to, like, are like. Okay, هذا verb to be. ممكن نحكي is like, are like, was like, were like. The same here. We will actually have some exercises for this one later on. We have also contrast signal words. However, nevertheless, nonetheless, still, although, even though, but, yet, and despite, and in spite of, and pay attention that after them they should have nouns. So, however, nevertheless, nonetheless, still, these are called transition words and phrases. Millions of people go on diets every year. However, أو ممكن تستخدم هذول كلياتهم في نفس الموقع. Very few succeeded in losing weight. لاحظوا الآن موقعهم في الجملة، جاءوا في النص، جاءوا في وسط الجملة. فهنا في عندنا when close and هنا when close. We will explain the function of coordinators and subordinators in class number 9 and 10. So we will actually just read this for to save some time. And here are also some contrast signal words. We said like however, and contrast, and by on the other, or in comparison, or by comparison. Also we have other numbers of subordinators and coordinates. We will explain them inshallah in class 9 and 10. Hopefully you will do practice. These are practices to page 117, 118, and practice 3, page 121. Hopefully you got the major points of this class. Thank you so much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.